It only took one move for the WNBA to beat Angel Reese. The numbers also don't lie. All 44 regular season games of Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever were just shown on national TV, which is a first. This has never been done before by a team. Angel Reese didn't make the top 5, even though she said for 2 years that she was the reason people watched women's basketball. You think that was the worst thing that could have happened to Reese? Just wait until you hear what her new coworker said about her before the season even started. And how she lost it after getting that reality check. In the comments, please tell me if you like Caitlin with baby goat or Reese with baby giraffe.
Networks like CBS, NBC, ABC, ESPN, they make the decision as to which teams will be featured on their respective networks. And yesterday, they sent a very clear message to Angel Reese. You are not a star.
44 games. In 2026, every Indiana Fever regular season game will be shown on TVs across the country. And the WNBA has never seen anything like this happen before. Not once. Now think about what it takes for a network to give that much airtime to just one brand. Networks don't give up so much airtime because they want to be nice to the league or because they care about it. They do this because the data was looked at and found to be good.
Angel Reese is now quoted as saying, "I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we're watching women's basketball is not just because of one person." She refuses to say Caitlin Clark's name. "It's because of me too, and I want you to realize that."
There aren't just a few small cable networks taking a chance on Indiana either. 13 games from Disney are shown on a BC, and 17 more are shown on ESPN. You can get Amazon Prime. Games are shown on NBC Peacock and NBCSN by NBC Universal. Here's the USN network. ION is in. There are now CBS and Paramount Plus. In other words, every major American news organization thinks that the Indiana Fever games are worth the money. And these are billion-dollar companies that don't write checks based on how they feel. Now let's talk about Indiana, especially since the Fever wasn't a must-see TV show before Caitlin Clark came along. They were always missing the playoffs, their fans weren't very big, and no one was fighting to show their games on TV. When Clark walked in the door in 2024, the numbers changed quickly. Games, which were shown on the same network as NBA games, started to get more people. Sponsors started calling. Because suddenly a group of people that advertisers pay a lot to reach was watching women's basketball in huge. Numbers that made charts look very different.
Sorry, young lady. Nobody knows who you are. Nobody would be watching the WNBA additionally for you. This is all about Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is bringing the money to the game, the planes to the game, the TV viewership. The WNBA is on fire because of Caitlin Clark.
The Indiana Fever are now the best women's basketball team thanks to Caitlin Clark. Alia. Boston draws double teams in the post but still scores. Because she reads the defense quickly and has better footwork than most people think. It's hard to protect Kelsey Mitchell's pull-up mid-range baskets because she gets off screen so quickly. Every night, Lexi Hall is put in charge of the toughest perimeter defense and she never moans. Sophie Cunningham comes off the bench and plays tough, which changes how fast the game is going. Coaches of other teams can't load up one side and solve Indiana with that mix around Clark. That means the basketball will be interesting, which is exactly what the networks are trying to sell.
History has already been made. Before a game has been played, Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever cementing their status as must-see TV. The cash cow, the money maker, the golden goose, the golden ticket, the savior of women's basketball.
Then there is the actual presence. The NBA plays its games at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, which has room for more than 17,000 people. When the venue is full for a Fever game, the show looks like it was done by professionals. The camera views are good. Do the mics pick up the noise from the crowd? And the intensity is shown on TV in ways that a smaller crowd just can't match. Ad agencies pay just as much for surroundings as they do for people to see their ads. An NBA building that is packed with people always has both. When Clark's proven ability to pull in viewers, a lineup that is hard to protect, and a broadcast setting that sells itself all come together. Each Fever game becomes a product that a network can safely sell to advertisers. There won't be any pointless shows or games that are hidden on Tuesday nights so that no one sees them. There are 44 of them now. The market just gave the team that means the most in this league right now a number 44. That number belongs to Indiana. The other broadcast rankings, on the other hand, tell a very different story. One player is about to find out where she fell.
I meant it when I said Atlanta's going to be lit, not just on the court, but off the court. They do a great job at the Gateway Center of selling out tickets, but they're going to be able to move games to State Farm Arena where the Hawks play now because of the Angel Reese effect.
What? Excuse me?
The rest of that program list looks like a report card. Let's talk about it. No one asked to see it, but everyone had to. You already know that Indiana has 44 games. With 36 national games built around Paige Buchers and AZ Fudd, the first overall pick in 2026, Dallas Wings is right behind them. Next is the New York Liberty Super Team, which has 35 wins. With 33 games, the current champion Las Vegas Aces, led by MVP Aja Wilson, are very close behind. The Los Angeles Sparks are in 31st place. Now go back and read that list again, because Dallas got 36 games, shown across the country for two players who had never played a professional game together before. Not a single game. Even though Buchers and Fudd were hired because they got along, the network still looked into the problem and decided it needed more attention than Angel Reese and the Atlanta Dream. That's not a small slight. That's a very clear sign from the market about how people feel about trust right now.
Everybody's getting paid more money. They got to figure out how they going to make some of this money back and all of that. And one way you can guarantee make a profit with these networks and turn over $1 is by putting Caitlin Clark in front of the camera on national TV as much as possible.
So where does Atlanta land? The Dream are ranked 8th on the list of teams with the most nationally aired games, with 28. They are behind only Reese's old team, the Chicago Sky. The difference of 16 games between Indiana's 44 and Atlanta's 28 is big. There are 16 games between them, which is about 1/3 of a WNBA regular season. Reese said for 2 years that she was personally expanding women's basketball, that her presence was important, and that she was making a big difference. To that charge, the broadcast schedule just replied with a very clear number, 28. But Atlanta's position isn't just worried about the number of games they've lost. Picture the situation. Indiana plays at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, which has more than 17,000 seats. And Las Vegas plays at Michelob Ultra Arena. The Atlanta Dream, on the other hand, play their home games at a gym in College Park, Georgia, which has about 3,500 seats. That's it. And networks take that into account when setting the prices of their ads around those games. Since an empty 3,500-seat stadium doesn't make for the same atmosphere for a broadcast as an NBA building that's packed to the brim. The noise from the crowd is strange. There are fewer and less interesting camera views. A TV screen makes everything look and sound smaller. Don't blame the Atlanta Dream. When replayed for the Chicago Sky, the 9,000-seat Wintrust Arena was never full.
Something called the Angel Reese effect, which no one's ever heard of besides L. Duncan. This mysterious effect, it is going to cause the Atlanta Dreamers to move home games out of the Gateway Center, which is primarily used to build computers when the unknowns in the WNBA aren't using the building to pretend to play basketball. The popularity of Angel Reese, the demand to see Angel Reese miss layups is so strong. The WNBA will be moving games out of the Gateway Center and into an actual NBA arena?
Advertisers pay for ad space, and how much they are willing to spend depends on the tone of the show. A game in an NBA arena that is sold out costs more than one in a gym with fewer seats than some high school football fields. So Atlanta's location problem isn't just a matter of looks. It affects the money they make from every single home show they make. That changes where the Dream stands in the hierarchy. The argument that Reese has always used is that she can get respect on her own. No matter what, her name and charm were enough to get anyone's attention. This point was put to the test by the broadcast plan for 2026, where real money and airtime were at stake. Atlanta came in third, behind a young pair in Dallas and a Sparks team that hasn't been really good in years. And that is the clearest assessment of her league case she has ever gotten. Reese spent 2 years at Chicago. To understand how Atlanta got here, you need to look back at what happened there.
Last 2 years, Angel Reese played for the Chicago Bravado, right? In terms of professional sports, even semi-professional sports like the WNBA, Chicago is a significantly better sports town when compared to Atlanta. In her 2 years with the Bravado, how many games were moved out of the Wintrust Arena, which is about the size of a local civic center in Wichita, Kansas? How many games were moved out of the Wintrust Arena into the house that Michael Jordan built called the United Center because of this so-called Angel Reese effect?
The Chicago Sky had a 13-27 record in Reese's first year with the team. They fell to 10-34 in the second year. It's not a slump. It's a change of direction. Even though she won all-star games and had a lot of rebounds, the team's success kept going down while she was there. And yes, the numbers that showed the rebounding were real. It was scary how fast she was taking down boards. And that looks like a franchise cornerstone doing franchise cornerstone things on paper. The team did lose games every year she played, though. The difference between the stat sheet and the scoreboard has to be asked at some point.
I'm not talking about games that were moved because the Bravado were playing Caitlin Clark. How many games were moved into an NBA arena because of the increased demand to see rebounds? According to my calculations, none.
Now things start to get interesting. A lot of the rebounds she got were because she missed shots herself. To make it an offensive rebound, Reese would try to make a layup but miss. She would then pick up her own missed shot. So the number went up, but productivity stayed low. There is no hustle in this industry or production. It's not efficient to make a number line. And there's a big difference between those two things.
Angel Reese, Spark 60! How about some preps? Let's get bang! I think people don't give her enough credit for her touch and finesse around the rim. Bang! 23%! No, that's not her field goal percentage. I know, I thought that too. That's their team's winning percentage. 9-30! Bang! What ice cream flavor is smooth, salty, and a little nutty? It comes with a side of hop skippity doo-doo! Butter pecan! Bang!
What was going on in the locker room became known during the 2025 season. Reports say that Rhee and the leaders on the team are having trouble getting along. The one that got the most attention had Courtney Vanderloot in it. Vanderloot is a respected veteran who Rhee openly questioned in a way that many sites thought was pointed and pointless. The atmosphere around that team got so bad that Reese was suspended for conduct detrimental to the team. This is how the league officially says someone's behavior crossed a line that can't be allowed anymore. When the deal was finally done, Sky players did not cry as they said goodbye. Before anyone could think about it, the front office quickly gave Reese's number 5 shirt to Reechka Jackson, who was just hired. They also don't handle a beloved teammate's number in that way. That's how they end the book. Their happiness is over.
You know, the dynasty starts after you not with you. Chicago Sky to Angel Reese. Woo-wee! I told you that AR disease ran deep. Nobody wanted to play with that. That is wild.
And the real story is what happened next in Chicago. It was generally thought in the league before Rhee's departure that Chicago was not a good place for free agents to go. There was something about the situation that made it hard for free agents to choose Chicago. After that, she was moved and Skylar Diggins-Smith signed. Then Azura Stevens got on board. It was DJ Carrington. All of a sudden, people picked the Chicago team on purpose. Nobody wants to play here, and let's go to Chicago were the same, except Angel Reese was in the changing room. If you look at Indiana, when Clark came in during her first season, the Fire came back to the playoffs. Boston and Mitchell both played at the highest level of their careers while playing with her. And there have been no reports of veterans being suspended, reprimanded in public, or having problems in the dressing room. The two cases are not only different in terms of what happened, their terms of work were very different from the start.
Do you know who recognizes that Caitlin Clark is the face, the end-all, be-all for this league? All of these television networks. You know why? All 44 of Caitlin Clark's games will be on national television this season. All 44, not 40, not 41, not 40, all 44 will be on national TV because the GOAT is the face. She's not a needle mover. She is the needle.
Advertisers and networks don't just look at a player's highlight reel to decide where to put their money. They believe the whole story about that guy. A national advertising campaign shouldn't include a story about a conduct suspension, peers who didn't say anything when things got tough, and 2 straight lottery seasons. It worked out for Chicago. Atlanta is about to find out the hard way. An introduction news conference was held by the Atlanta Dream to welcome Angel Reese to her new team. Finally, remember that these are meant to be fun. Everyone smiles for the cameras as a new chapter starts. Her new friends lined up and took turns telling the whole league how they felt about her, whether they were right or wrong. Not Angel, but everyone else is meant to answer the question. In what ways would you describe playing against her over the last 2 years? I mean, at any time. It's been Angel on the other side of the court. I think I've had about 30. Ryan Howard went first. Someone had asked her to play against Rhee already. Howard's answer was pretty easygoing, like she was just stating the obvious. She said she thought she had 30 points whenever Angel was on the other side of the floor. Dropped it like that. There is no hesitating or giving in. Howard wasn't bragging either. She was just telling the truth. Reese's status as a good defender in the league doesn't come from her ability to stop opponents. Howard pretty much admitted this at a news gathering meant to promote Reese. Every coach who watched the video just got a free scouting report. Put Howard's guard, who is in charge of the ball, on Reese's side. She should be able to go get buckets. Then, Naz Hillman walked up to the mic. She brought something to the welcome party by calling Reese annoying as hell. It sounds like she was giving praise by the way she said it. She said that Reese is annoying and hard to handle. Being around Angel is a pain. But the phrase annoying as hell is often used to talk about someone who drains your energy. When these two traits are talked about in front of cameras at a news conference, the line between them becomes less clear. Alicia Gray did things a little differently. Gray said she liked playing against Chicago because that's where she had her best games. Gray is a great scoring player in the league. So when she says that a certain team's defense made her play her best, she's not saying nice things about them. Gray seemed to use those meetings to improve his own score while Rhee played for Chicago during those 2 seasons. I talked to Angel and told him I'm not going to lie. I loved playing against Chicago last year because that's when I had my best games. Now, let's think about how all 3 of those things fit together. Howard scored a lot of goals against Rhee's defense. Gray got wild every time she played in Chicago. Hillman said she was as nasty as hell. All of these feelings were shown at a news conference that was meant to get people excited about their new friend. Either the Atlanta Dream organization doesn't do any media training or these players were honest about how they felt. And these aren't just random people chatting, right? For 2 years, these women watched Rhee play from the other side of the court. Now they have to share a changing room with her every day. The mood at that news conference wasn't very friendly.
So the Atlanta Dream teammates basically said, we were able to do anything we wanted at absolute will. We became Jedis on the court against the Chicago Sky. We just thought about cooking their ass. Shit started roasting on the court. We started cooking ribs and chicken right there on the court.
This is the irony. It's pretty hard to miss that. Reese spent 2 years in Chicago making fun of soldiers, which got him in trouble, a behavior suspension and a reputation for being the loudest person in the room. When the seniors in the locker room were asked to welcome her to Atlanta, they said that she can't protect anyone and is annoying to be around. The way things were in Chicago before she left is now working against her. When she got to Atlanta, there were 28 games being shown across the country and a gym with 3,500 seats. What her new friends had planned for her was also a surprise. Every network that bid on the WNBA in 2026 did the same research, looking at the same lineups, venues, and past ratings, and all of them came to the same decision. Caitlin Clark plays 44 games, while Angel Reese only plays 28 in a gym that isn't even big enough for a good high school football field. Reese told everyone with a microphone for 2 years that she personally told people to watch women's basketball. With real money on the line, the 2026 broadcast schedule put that claim to the test. Atlanta placed 6th, behind rookies and a Sparks team that hadn't won in years. Self-promotion doesn't matter to the market. It has to do with what people watch on TV. It was easy to see the truth. Please tell me in the comments below if you support Caitlin by writing baby goat or baby giraffe. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications to make sure you never miss a blog post. Click on the movie on the screen and we'll see you in the next one.